Hello everyone, my name is Israel Santana, but you can call me Izzy, and as you can see by the title of this video, it's very straightforward. I am just trying to document my journey from going from not knowing how to code to eventually learning how to code and landing a job as a software engineer. What to expect with this series is don't expect me to make videos of me pouring coffee and doing a voiceover and looking pretty. No expectations of like heavy editing or anything of that nature. I'm just trying to give you raw footage on one take, what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just keep it as raw as possible. That's all I want to do. So without further ado, if you're interested in my journey, what I'm doing, here we go. So basically, I started studying full-time of becoming a software engineer on February 1st of this year. So by now, we're talking about a month and a day. And my schedule has been very straightforward. I'm treating it like a job, and I'm studying 5 days a week. And I'm waking up at 6 in the morning, studying all the way to 4 p.m. And the reason I decided that time slot was because it's better to study with a time frame that works for you. Some people are nighttime. Some people like to study like in the middle of the day. Me, I'm a morning person, so it just becomes a lot more easier for me to study. Waking up at 6, I've been doing it my whole life, waking up early, so it's not difficult for me. So I study from 6 in the morning to 12:30 p.m. And I have a 30-minute lunch break, and then at 1 p.m. I'm back studying, and I go from 1 to 4 p.m. In addition to that, something that I'm doing is I'm making sure that I also go to the gym to go out, get fresh air, and once I'm done coding, I go 3 times a week to the gym, and it really helps me a lot with my mental, my stamina, and it just helps me stay focused, and it gives me like this sense of accomplishment. So it's something that I recommend if you can. Yes, go hard studying, but also go out, get fresh air, and if you can go to the gym, do it as well. Healthy body, healthy mind, I think it connects well. So now, what am I doing to study, to get to that level, becoming a software engineer during an era of like so many layoffs and people getting fired? Why even do this, right? There's 2 options. I either cry about it, or I just push through and improve my skills to make myself hireable. It's really those 2 options, and I'm not gonna do the first one. Crying about it just makes no sense to me. Decided to make a career change at 29 years old, and software engineer is something that really got my attention because it's something very creative, and I can do it from my computer, which is something that I like to do. So yeah, that's basically a little bit about me. Now let's go straight to the process. So like I told you, I started studying on February the 1st of this year, and back last year I was studying like a little bit. I dabbled myself into like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and took like a course, but I wasn't fully engaged with it. So I was able to learn enough to be familiar with the topics and stuff. So when eventually I started like studying like full time, things would be a lot clearer, and which is now the case. So I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that I started from 0 on February 1st. I was already familiar with HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I know what NPM is, what GitHub is, Node, backend, frontend. But I'm not going to lie either and say that I could build a web application. I'm just not able to. But I had the foundation to get myself there, right? To make it easier to know the path that I need to take in order to go from student to becoming a software engineer. So I already had an idea on what to study, which has made it a lot easier for me, because what happens a lot to people is that they start this journey, but they don't even know where to start. I was blessed enough that last year I was like getting information, doing little things. So when I got to the point of full-time studying, I knew where to start. So what you're looking at right now is on the left side, you see this playlist that I'm creating. And basically I wanted to start from the basics, HTML and CSS, and then go from there. I'm making this playlist, which eventually I'm planning to share. And it basically, if you see a video there, is because I went over it. So the first course that I took was the first one that you see, HTML and CSS full course. Man, I really recommend this this tutorial. It was very helpful. The instructor's very good, and he really helped solidify those basics of how to use grid and flexbox and how to give shape to a website. And what he does here, he teaches you and by building a YouTube clone, which was great and really was very helpful. So I truly recommended that. So I started with the HTML and CSS, and it took me about 3 or 4 days to finish that course. Let me be more specific. I started on February 1st, and by the 7th, I was already fully done with the course. So I was going over it, making sure I understood the topics before I moved on to the next, and that really helped me understand the concepts a lot better. And then from there, I decided to jump to JavaScript. And as you can see, this is the full course that I've taken so far. And this is a 20 episode video lesson, but Super Simple Dev, which is the YouTuber and software engineer, he takes his time to post them. So the only reason I'm up to 16 because that's all the lessons that are available currently. But on those 16 lessons, I've learned so much, man. I was last year I was having so much difficulty understanding like why a variable is named the way it is, or a function, a declare function, how an arrow function works, data attributes. I didn't understand that because I made the mistake of like trying to skip a little bit JavaScript and go straight to React because I thought, oh, since it's just JavaScript, it's going to become easier. But it actually didn't help me in the long run, because if you want to go to React, you really need to have your foundations of HTML, CSS, and specifically JavaScript if you really want to go and use React. Is honestly the truth. So I started with the basics, and the first part is 11 hours long. And as you can see, I went one by one, and I took notes. I make sure I understood each topic, and throughout the course, he teaches you how to do a to-do list, then a rock, paper, scissors. And then eventually you jump to a e-commerce site, Amazon clone. And I really recommend, if you're really starting from scratch, I really recommend you to start with the HTML, CSS, and then jump to the JavaScript. Yes, I know there are other programming languages, Python, Java, all that stuff, but the one that I decided to start on was with JavaScript. So I started with the JavaScript course, and I made sure to take notes on each topic, and I was able to build a really great note taking, and I'm very proud of the things that I learned. And I was able to learn about more advanced concepts and about testing frameworks like Mocha.js and Jasmine, which is the one that he uses. It's like very beginner friendly, but that's something that you'll cross that bridge when you get there. So yeah, so I completed the 16 course, and what I did was he taught how to use source control, so I'm already familiar as well with Git Bash. So as you can see, I have Git Bash installed within my VS Code, so I actually can push my changes. Which, if you don't know what that is you are able to control the versions of your code. And once you get into it, it will make sense. So if version control, Git Bash, GitHub doesn't make sense to you in Git, trust me, it will make sense if you follow along these tutorials. So once I was finished with the part 16, yes, I had already a very nice project, which is an Amazon clone, but being honest, I couldn't build it from scratch on my own. So with the familiarity of the HTML, CSS, and the basics of the JavaScript, I decided to start building projects. And what I decided was to do, I heard of so many good reviews about this course, so I actually bought it, 50 projects in 50 days. and basically is 50 beginner-friendly projects. And this guy Brad Traversy and Florida Pop, they go into these projects and they teach you the basics, and it really helps you to solidify the foundation. This is currently where I'm at in my first month of studying, and I'm already in project number 6. As you can see, I'm not going to show you the code base because it's a paid service. I know you can get to their GitHub, but I don't know the legalities of me showing you the code, even though you can go to my GitHub and see the repos. But it's a very good course, and my plan is to go over it completely, and I want to be able to build these 50 projects in vanilla JavaScript. And once I'm done with that, I want to take my favorite, I don't know, 5 or 10 projects and then jump to React. And what I'm trying to do is I really trying to have in my first 3 months my JavaScript fundamentals, be able to be in React, learn about APIs. I really want to have this front end be very familiar in the first 3 months before I jump to databases and the back end with Node, Express, or Next.js. But I want to go little by little, and before moving on to the next topic, I want to make sure that no, I'm not going to master it in 3 months, but I want to be able to feel comfortable to build something in React.js. And I feel that by building these 50 projects in vanilla JavaScript is going to really help my foundations. So before I move on to the next project, I want to make sure that I understand what I saw. And by the 6 projects so far, man, I'm really learning a lot, and things are starting like to click. Those aha moments, like with the document object model, the query selectors, and inner HTML, and things of that nature, and it's very being helpful. Again, I'm trying to keep these videos short, and I want to be able to do weekly updates. So that's where I'm at currently right now. I'm building HTML, CSS, and JavaScript projects, 50 of them. And once I'm done with them, hopefully this month, I want to be, my goal is to be able to be done with this course and start learning about React and how to use APIs. That's my goal for April. For March, yeah, that's my goal for March. So by April, hopefully I'm in learning about React and learning about APIs. So each week I'm going to give you updates on what is going on with me. And yeah, hopefully you follow along with the journey. And yeah, again, this is the path that I started, my notes. And once you go over the courses and you get to know about getting GitHub, then you can get familiar how to upload your changes and things of that nature to really get you familiar with source control. So yeah, without further ado, thank you so much for watching. Again, it's not going to be nothing fancy. No, we're editing. If you hear like sometimes like a dog sound, is because my dog Pokemon, he's in the room with me. And yeah, I'm really looking forward, and see you on the next one. Thank you.